Seminole Nation and the Robert Hook Show is brought to you by premier sponsor, First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, Bugmobile of Arkansas, H&R Block of Mississippi County, Ed Harshman and Harshman Reynolds, and Roller Swift Funeral Home. Council member Tyler Dunnigan. Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Grant Barnett. And now, the Robert Hook Show. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Robert Hook Show here on the Seminole Nation Facebook and YouTube page. My name is Michael Eflin. I am joined by head football coach of your Osceola Seminoles, Robert Hooks, and my partner in crime, Mr. Bobby Eflin, also Jay Gonzalez behind the scenes, making sure everything goes right here for the Robert Hooks Show. Coach, as we bring you this program, just got done playing the Piggott Mohawks. And, Coach, I talked to you after the game. I could tell that you were very, very kind of upset with how your team played. The Seminoles, they come in, look like a little flat. Me and Bobby talked about it. We look at it as it's raining outside. But that's you like you said, it's no excuse. But Coach, at the end of the day, we go to halftime 12-12. We end up winning the ball game 34-12. It's good to get a game like this out of the way early.
It is. It's always good to get the W. But just listen. Anytime you get an opportunity to play this game, that there's not many more pickup football games. You can go have a pickup basketball game whenever. You can go play softball. You can play tennis, but you're not gonna really be able to do this anymore once it's done. We have quite a few seniors that this is gonna be their last time to play this game, and we want to cherish that. And I didn't think that our guys come out ready to play, and again that's my fault. That's on me, and we're gonna continue to work to make sure that doesn't happen again, and to make sure that we're excited about playing football again.
Coach, looking at the scoring here, Bobby, there's only one score in the first quarter. It came in at the 6:22 mark when MJ Vance had a 1-yard touchdown run, and the extra point was no good. Seminoles led 6-0 after one. Bobby, that's after a long pass to Greg Hooks that I thought he was going to score on. You go back and look at the film, it can go either way. I thought he did score. Nevertheless, they put him at the 1-yard line. MJ runs it in. After one quarter, we lead 6-0.
And it was kind of a funny first quarter. You had a couple of turnovers there, and you had some things that we saw Piggott move the football a little bit. Same thing we've talked about all year about the interior, the defensive line for the Seminoles, and that counteraction run that we've seen out of the shotgun all year long. It just appeared that the kids weren't as focused as they should have been. And you could see the animation from Coach Hooks on the sideline and knew that, it was icky, it was cold, it was rainy. Some of us like that kind of weather. Some of us like football weather like that, and some people don't. But we talked early in the pregame, and we talked throughout the game that a scrappy team like Piggott that's going to come out there and they're going to try hard. I mean, they start to believe that they belong, and all of a sudden they do belong. And I think that's what we saw in the first half was less focus on the Seminole side than we would have liked to have seen, and a group that was playing really scrappy and started to believe a little bit. So, it's a tale of two halves, just like the Walnut Ridge ball game. You go in at halftime, you make adjustments, you come out and play football the way you should have played the whole ball game, and it's a testament to the coaching staff getting it turned around and making the adjustments.
Coach, we go to the second quarter, 6-0 after one. Number 2, Michael Parker has a 6-yard touchdown run for Piggott. They attempted a 2-point conversion. It's no good. It's 6-6. 10:38 left in the second quarter. Come right back. I'm talking about right back. Number 1, Dan Newsom has a 5-yard touchdown run with 10:09 left in the second. We attempt the 2-point conversion again, and it is unsuccessful. 12-6 at that point. Only other score in the second quarter comes with Piggott. With 4:53 left in the second, number 2 Michael Parker has an 11-yard touchdown pass to number 5 Holden Tarno. They attempted the 2-point conversion. It was also no good, and that brought us to halftime, 12-12. Now, Coach, 12-12 at the half. Osceola is at the 1-yard line. We fumble. We lose that fumble there. There's another fumble on a punt return where Trey Moore is running down the sideline, gets to about the 10-yard line, loses the football. So easily, this could have been a 14-point swing right there. Nevertheless, you give hats off to Piggott. They played a heck of a first half, and they did what they needed to do to make this game 12-12 at the half.
Right.
Just talk a little bit about your first half as a whole before we get into the second half.
Well, those two things are something that we talk about every day, doing the little things right. Seeking the football in and protecting the football all the way in until the whistle's blown. So, we kind of got a little careless and, end up losing football and giving them extra opportunities. And if you're gonna be a champion, you're gonna have to make sure that we punch those in instead of giving it back to the other team. And that's just mental focus and fundamentals. Something that we're gonna continue to work on until we're done.
And Bobby, we talked about that at the half. When you're 12-12, nothing's going your way. You're playing on the road. It's pouring down rain. It's a little chilly outside. The wind's blowing. We talked about good teams dig down and find a way to win.
And you saw that, we talked about the defense was sliding back a little bit, but you saw those bright spots, DeCarlos Woods and Kamarian Brooks. That's right.
Exactly right.
I want to make sure I got his name right.
Sir.
Those two kids played lights out. And you got, Kamarian's a sophomore. He's in there filling in for AJ. And the kid's in on just about every other tackle. And DeCarlos was there all night making tackles off the backside. So you saw those bright spots. We saw Brandon Johnson run the football very, very well. Greg makes a couple of grabs out there that difficult in the conditions that you have with the football being wet. And we saw Dontaven and MJ, running with the football very well. So you had those bright spots. It was a matter of getting everybody on the same page at the same time, like Coach Hook said, the fundamentals and the focus, making sure that you're ready to play football every down. And we saw, again, two different football teams. You saw one in the first half that lacked focus and lacked purpose, and then you saw one in the second half that knew we got to do something. We're going to mess around and let these kids stay in this thing, and we're going to have problems.
Folks, we go to the third quarter. Like I said, halftime's 12-12. Both teams are in there at half, trying to figure out what chess match they're going to do against each other. Seminoles come out, get the ball in the second half. Coach, I've said this 100 times, and I'll say it one more time until everybody's just tired of hearing it. I love it. I love it when we get a chance to get the ball first in the second half. Most of the time, I'm praising you on the 2-for-1, but we get the ball in the second half. 10:34 left in the third quarter. 44-yard touchdown pass from MJ Vance to Stephon Coleman. 2-point conversion once again is no good. Seminoles lead 18-12. End up getting the ball back, Coach. 6:47 left in the third quarter. We have a 17-yard touchdown run by number 5, Brandon Johnson. 2-point conversion run by number 1, Dan Newsom. 26-12 there in the third. We go one more time in the third quarter with 4:05 left. Number 5, Brandon Johnson has a 55-yard touchdown run. Dan Newsom's 2-point conversion was good. No scoring in the fourth. Seminoles win 34-12. And Coach, just talk a little bit about what you talked to your team about at halftime and the adjustments you made to go out and get this lead in the second half and win.
Biggest thing, we just talked about our focus, pregame focus, and what we had to do to come back to stop them defensively, which is, you saw Kamarian Brooks come and follow those pull guys and make plays from the backside. You saw Carlos Woods do it, and you saw our inside linebacker start to, read keys instead of go with that eye candy. And, we did that, made a few plays. Safeties come down here. Dennis Davis actually come down and made a couple a couple good plays. Coach Dan Newsom, but we just started reading our keys and focusing. That was the biggest thing that we talked about, and we were able to turn it around and finish the ball game.
Bobby, we talked about this also at the end of the game when the Seminoles finally got up there in the third quarter. You saw it. You just saw like life just entered the body. It was just you could see the turn once they saw the confidence. They saw that what was going on, and they got everything changed in the third quarter to get this lead and win this ball game.
You're looking for that in a kid. I mean, I know coaches are looking for that. Is which one? When's the light switch going to get flipped? When's the light going to come on? When's this bunch going to grab it and go? And you kind of saw that a little bit in the third quarter. We saw them come out and play with more focus, but it really does come from doing the small things right. And we saw some things, with the fumbles and I saw a couple of sloppy routes, and stuff like that. That it's just the small things. You start to do the small things right, getting lined up, moving at the pace the coach wants you to move at, executing your blocks. We talked about on one run there by Brandon. I told you give Dan half of that because Dan is 20 yards down the field and he's got his guy locked up and he's taking him out of the play and that really sprung that run. We talked about it with Greg a couple of times. Greg I think he got called for a holding on one play that I really didn't agree with. I thought he had the guy. He just had the defender locked up and it was MJ.
They called it on MJ, but
Yeah.
it was a good block.
And it looked like he just had the defender locked up, and that's what you look for your kids to do. And when those things started happening, then you see production, and that's what turned the ball game around.
We talked about it over and over again, folks. You're going to have these games. All games are not going to be wine and roses. I mean, I know Osceola, everybody's going to give Osceola their best. We saw it Friday night. Michael Harrell, he is a heck of a coach at Piggott. He knew exactly what he thought needed to happen to stop this Seminole team. And for the most part, in the very beginning, it worked. But good football teams find a way to win. And I'm telling you, I saw the will of this Osceola Seminole football team Friday night when they could have folded or they could have got mad at each other and said, hey, this is not working. What's going on? It's raining. We're in this dirt over here. Nothing's happening. We're fumbling. But they reached down and they found a way to win. That's all you want. One game at a time. You want to be 1-0 after every week.
We saw Coach Harrell's game plan. We knew what it was. We're gonna limit the possessions that the Seminoles get. He wanted to limit those offensive possessions, and for the most part, in the first half, he accomplished that.
That's right.
It just and all of that has to do with offensive production from the Seminoles. And we saw the big plays. The big plays came in, and I think I even commented one time that I'd like to see a sustained drive. I'd like to see us just take the football, 5 minutes off the clock, and sustain a drive, but what do you tell a kid? Don't break it. I mean,
exactly.
You started seeing the line take over. We started to see that push from the offensive line. So again, I think it was the small things and focus on your fundamentals, and it just showed production.
I agree, 100%. Just a little bit of the stats here. As a whole for the game, Seminoles had 25 carries, 225 yards on the ground. They were 6 for 13 through the air, 132 yards, 357 yards total offense. Not bad at all after seeing what we had in the first half compared to the second half. MJ was 4 for 8 through the air, 119 yards and a touchdown. Folks, the stat that really shows me a whole lot, Brandon Johnson, number 5, 6 carries for 148 yards, Bobby. And, that young man, we've seen it all year long. You never know where it's coming from. Greg Hooks did have 2 receptions for 70 yards, including the one I thought he scored on. But nevertheless, you never know where it's coming from. The bright spot this week was we're going to run the football down your throat. We did it. We did have passes that helped that out. But, I love the stats. Looking at Piggott's stats, they had 38 carries on the ground for 145 yards. They were 5 for 17 through the air for 38 yards. Other big stat that stands out, we fumbled 4 times. 4 times and lost 2 of them. They fumbled 2 times and lost 1. So, conditions weren't the way you want them, but nevertheless, in big ball games, you got to find ways not to fumble the football. and it's something that I know the coach will work on this week. He works on it every week. I've been out at practice and seeing them. Man, they got the big jugs out there, and the quarterbacks got their hands in the water. The receivers got their hands in the water, and they're simulating what it's going to be like on Friday night. So it's not like they don't work on it. I mean, it's just stuff that happens. Things happen. But at the end of the day, we found a way to win, and the Seminoles coach, y'all win 34-12 over the Piggott Mohawks after week 8. Gives you 2 more games ready to go. And what we'll do now, folks, is we will take a break. Let our sponsors get a word in here. Guys, I can talk to them blue in the face, but the sponsors you're finna hear on this commercial break, they are the ones that make the magic happen. Without them, we can't go to Piggott. Without them, we can't go to Corning this week. Without them, we don't do this every week with the Robert Hook Show. So if you see these sponsors out in the community, please tell them thank you for bringing the Robert Hook Show every Tuesday night and also bringing the Seminole Nation every Friday night to where we'll be able to show you this live feed on the Seminole Nation Facebook page and the YouTube page. Please tell them thank you. They're the ones that makes the magic happen. We appreciate them so much. When we come back from the break, we'll break down the Corning Bobcats. We're going to travel over to Corning this Friday night. We're going to go back and look. We're going to go look at some games to watch in Week 9 from the 3A conference as a whole. We got a couple conferences that could be decided this week. Big ball games in the 3A, and that's going to help us learn a little bit more about where we're going to be at in the playoff field. And then we'll do our pick'ems. We'll go back last week and see how that fared for us. We're going to eat a little crow on one of them, but it is what it is. And then we'll pick next week's game when we come back from the commercial break. We'll be right back on the Robert Hook Show.
Ed Harshman and Harshman Rentals, located at 202 West Johnson in Osceola, can meet all of your residential and storage rental needs. Harshman's has apartments and housing located throughout Osceola and Mississippi County, both furnished and unfurnished, available for rent. You can contact Harshman Rentals at 870-563-3694. Ed Harshman and Harshman Rentals are a proud sponsor of Osceola Seminole Athletics and the Seminole Nation. First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas is the official bank of the Seminole Nation and the Robert Hook Show. Our premier sponsor, First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, is Eastern Arkansas's largest independently owned bank. First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas specializes in all your banking needs, including personal banking, online banking, business banking, savings accounts, loans, CDs, and IRAs. Go down to the First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, speak with President Greg Reese and teller supervisor and loan processor Taylor Lucius for all your banking needs. First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas is a proud sponsor of the Osceola Seminole Nation and the Robert Hook Show. First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, member FDIC. H&R Block of Mississippi County is a tax preparation and financial service located at 2981 West Kaiser in Osceola. They can be reached at 870-563-5710. H&R Block of Mississippi County is a proud sponsor of the Seminole Nation. Roller Swift Funeral Home of Osceola is a proud sponsor of the Seminole Nation and Osceola Seminole Athletics. Located at 2173 US 61 South, Roller Swift Funeral Home specializes in funeral services and helping families with the costs associated with them. For more information, contact them at 870-563-6578 and speak with David Tucker. Roller Swift Funeral Home, with all our respect. Bugmobile of Arkansas, located at 408 South Walnut in Osceola, specializes in pest control and termite control for both residential and commercial properties. Owners Oscar and Jade Gonzalez would be happy to come out and give you a free estimate, and you can also contact Bugmobile at 870-563-6811. Bugmobile is a proud sponsor of your Osceola Seminoles and the Seminole Nation.
And welcome back to the Robert Hook Show. And, Coach, this week, travel to Corning. Corning Bobcats, very much improved. Coach Treadway moves over from Walnut Ridge to Corning this year, year 1. And, Coach, he's worked wonders at Corning. Tell us a little bit about the Corning Bobcats.
Well, again, Coach Treadway has done a magnificent job over there. He has the kids playing at a high level, and, they're believing, and they're playing with a lot of energy. And they're a very good ball club. They're a team that we're definitely not overlooking. We got to win this game before we can get to the next. So on offense, they do a good job of running the football. Run a few different variations of the GT, the counter. The same thing that we just had problems with at Piggott. They run the quarterback ISO, and they'll also run the toss and the outside zone. So they do a good job. They'll run the inside zone also. They do a good job of calling plays, and they will hit you out on the edge once you go to sleep. So we're gonna have to be aware of where the playmakers are. Their quarterback is Clayton Smith, 5'9", 170, a guy who takes control of the offense, does a good job of managing, and is a pretty good quarterback. And their running back number 2, 5'8", 205, does a good job of getting downhill, getting what he can get, and he's shows a burst of speed. Also, he does pretty good on the edge. They also bring a big body H-back size type guy, number 44, 6'2", 205, very physical. He does a good job, and have a receiver number 20 out on the edge who makes plays, 5'10", 180, and inside they have their left guard is number 64. He's 6'2", 265. The other guard is number 72, I think. He's 5'10", 250, and number 78 is the other tackle, 6'4", 320. It's a guy that does a good job on the edge, manning the edge, and does a good job in protection and also run blocking. So we're going to have our hands full with that offense, and defensively, they do a good job of flying around. Like us, a lot of the guys play both ways. The quarterback plays free safety, outside backer sometimes, and the 2 of the receivers play cornerback, and I think 3 of the linemen play on the defensive line. So they're going to be where they're supposed to be, and also play with a high level. They run to the football well, do a good job of covering. So we have our hands full with this Corning team.
Bobby, I promise you, Corning is not going to have any problem getting up for Osceola this Friday night. Another thing, when they heard that 12-12 against Piggott at the half, they have been studying that film since they got it, and I promise you, that some of the film I looked at Corning is some mirror image of what Piggott does. So they're going. I guarantee you, they're going to try to fine tune that this Friday night and do the same thing to Osceola.
They're going to come out and try to do the same thing Piggott did, try to do the same thing Nettleton did. We saw Gosnell do some of it. The key to and I it hasn't worked so far this year, but everybody believes the key to beating the Seminoles is to keep that offense off the field, and that is in some cases true. But we've seen the defense score some, but that's going to be the game plan. Use the play clock, try to shorten the game. Keep the offense off the field, limit the offensive possessions of the Seminoles, and try to keep the game close. They will be much of mirror image of Piggott. I think they probably throw the football a little bit more than Piggott did. I'm not sure that their quarterback spins the ball quite as well as Dixon for Piggott did, but he is very serviceable and gets the job done. So it's just another game of coming into Corning and going into Bobcat Stadium and having some focus and completing your assignment and playing the football game. Well, I think that's all we have to do.
And Bobby, they do a little bit different things, a little bit different that you don't see every day. I mean, I watched some film on them. They did the onside kick, I think 5 times in a row against Walnut Ridge and got it 4 times in a row. I mean, so that's things that you don't see every day when you're lined up against Osceola. One, because if you don't get it, you're giving the ball at the 50-yard line or the 45-yard line and giving them that great field position. So you got to ask yourself this week, are they going to play the chess game and try to kick it a little bit further back and try to pin you? Or are they going to try to give you up that field position? Because just like I do, you give Osceola a good field position, they'll beat you.
It's almost to pick your poison. It really is. I mean, if you're gonna give us the football at the 45, you're gonna pay for that.
That's short field every time.
That's short field every time. And so I think that you may not see some of that against the Seminoles. They're going to want to try and push us back and make us go as far as we can. But they've consistently done that all year.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Coach Treadway, he may say, well, my cards are better taking my chances that I get the onside kick 3 out of 5.
Right.
And then beating you that way.
Right.
So either way, I know they'll have something up their sleeve. Hey, folks, when you're playing one of the top teams in the state, nobody's tooting nobody's horn. We're just stating the obvious. When you're playing one of the top teams in the state, you're going to get their best every week.
Time.
And I promise you, Coach Treadway is going to have the Corning Bobcats ready to go this Friday night when we play the Seminoles at Corning. So that is the scouting report on the Corning Bobcats for this Friday. And Bobby, before we finish out here, let's look at some stuff. We haven't done this at all this year, and I compiled this because we've got some very interesting games week 9 in the 3A conference. I'm just going to bring up 2 of them. There's really 3 of them, but there's 2 of them that I think that are really going to be a good game this week out of our conference, or out of the 3A conference. In the 3A4, you got 2 teams that are 5-0 in conference, and I really believe that this game this week will probably tell you who's going to be 1 and 2. You got Glen Rose traveling to Atkins. And I'm going to tell you, Glen Rose, 6-2 overall, 5-0 in conference. Atkins, 7-1 overall, 5-0 in conference. Glen Rose averages right around 396 yards a game. That's 34 points a game, giving up 14 points. Atkins is 419 yards per game. That's 40 points a game, giving up 24. This is going to be a game, Bobby. A game.
Atkins has been putting yards on people all year.
Yeah.
They've got a powerful offense, and Glen Rose is not a bad football team by any stretch of the imagination. You're gonna find out who comes out of that conference, I think, Friday night.
Hey, let me give you a stat here for Atkins. They got a quarterback, Bobby, number 10. His name is Elijah Roberson, 6'7", 190 senior. He is 123 for 179 through the air for 2,148 yards. That tells you right there that they like to sling the football. That's 306 yards passing per game. He's got 41 carries also for 242 yards. Mm-hmm. So total, he's got 2,390 yards of total offense just by himself.
And the kid's got a big arm.
Yeah.
He has a big arm. He can get it out there. He can get the ball downfield. It'll be a test for the Glen Rose secondary this week for sure. Looking
at Glen Rose here, they have a kid at number 23, Wesley Lanias, 6'1", 160 junior. He's 79 for 143 for 1,389 passing, 15 touchdowns. It's just unbelievable. This game Friday night between Glen Rose and Atkins is going to be a dandy for first place in the 3A4. Mm-hmm. The other game, Bobby, in the 3A5, Camden Harmony Grove travels to Prescott. And I'm going to tell you what, if we didn't have a game, this is probably the one I'd want to go to. Because these are 2 powerhouses in our conference. And Camden Harmony Grove, 7-1 overall, 5-0 in conference. Prescott, 6-2 overall, 5-0 in conference. Camden Harmony Grove, 327 yards per game of offense, 365 yards a game for Prescott. They light it up, Bobby. Both these teams light it up. And I promise you, folks, this might be for 1-2, but you'll see these teams again, both of them.
You're definitely going to see Camden Harmony Grove. They're a really solid football team. They play well on both sides of the ball. I don't think Prescott's defense is quite as good, but it's definitely going to be a hard-fought ball game. These 2 teams go at it every year.
Yes, sir.
And it's never dull. So
and the other one, I was going to put 3, but the other one is Boonville and Lamar. Lamar's got a loss in conference. Boonville has no losses. Lamar's going to have to knock off Boonville to make it a tie in first place in that side of the 3A. And I just think that Boonville's going to be too much for Lamar.
That's an uphill battle for Lamar.
It is. So that's just 2 games, folks, we wanted to bring to you this week. We're going to do this as we get closer to week 10 because we're fixing to start talking about brackets. And as we get done with week 10, we don't ever talk about week 10 until week 10 gets to us because we're not going to overlook nobody. We're getting ready to go play Corning this Friday night. Bobby, let's look back at week 8 on our pick'ems. Osceola 34, Piggott 12. It was Newport and Corning. Both of us picked Newport, and Newport beat Corning 53-16. So that was pretty easy pick. We had Hoxie and Manila at Manila. We both picked Hoxie to win. Hoxie beats Manila 55-7. And Bobby, the one that we're eating crow on this week, because I'm gonna tell you, both of us sit there and teeter-tottered on this pick here, and we even had a shout-out from the Harrisburg Hornet Nation on our pick this week. And, hey, I'll tell you, I'll give credit where credit was due. We both picked Walnut Ridge at home. It was homecoming. Harrisburg goes to Walnut Ridge and beats Walnut Ridge 44-15, Bobby.
Harrisburg showed up, that's for sure. And I expected Walnut Ridge to be a tough out for them at home. I didn't expect it to get that far out of hand.
So, hey, we'll eat crow on that one because it really surprised me that Walnut Ridge gets beat on their homecoming. But, hey, hats off to the Harrisburg Hornet Nation. Y'all showed up on that game, and you deserved that win, and we'll be the first ones to tell you. So, Bobby, let's look at week 9. Osceola and Corning, we're going to be calling that game, so we won't, we done talked about that game as much as we need to talk about it. You got Manila traveling to Walnut Ridge.
Well, I got to make up some ground here, at some point, but I can't make it up on this game, Walnut Ridge.
Yeah, I agree. Manila's still learning. Got a new coach and new philosophy over there, and they're still learning the whole thing. And Walnut Ridge is probably going to be a little upset, after last week when Harrisburg beat them. So I'm going with Walnut Ridge also. Next game, Piggott travels to Newport.
I would really like to get behind the Mohawks. I like the way the team plays football. They're really scrappy, and their defense was pretty solid. But, and if we were throwing headsets, Coach Harrell would be my pick. But in this game, you got to go Newport.
Coach, how much them headsets cost?
$3,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
Coach Harrell threw his about 30 yards Friday night.
Hey, it was a good throw too.
Yeah,
he had some velocity.
He probably has some history in like shot put and stuff like that.
Yeah, he chunked it
because he threw that headset a long ways and they just let it lay there. I mean, rain
in the rain.
Yeah. So we just figured that maybe they got plenty of money. So no matter. So I'm Bobby. You're right. You're right. I'm gonna tell you what, folks. As much as I'd love to go with Piggott, Coach Michael Harrell is going to coach up the Piggott Mohawks. Mm-hmm. They're going to be ready for Newport, I promise you. Newport better not be overlooking them, Bobby. I'm just telling you.
That's true.
You better not be peeking into week 10 because you got to get through week 9 to get to week 10.
That's true.
So I wouldn't overlook them, but I got to go with Newport. Newport's the better team. They got more speed. The defense, in my opinion, is better. It should be an easy win for Newport, but sometimes when you're peeking into the next week, sometimes that previous week sneaks up on you.
Yep.
So I'm not going to say that, Piggott's going to go in and upset Newport. But Newport better be careful and don't look past Piggott in week 9. I'm going with Newport. And then the other game, Bobby, Hoxie. Hoxie is going to travel to Harrisburg. And now, this is going to be a good one. I've been mulling over this and all day. So you want me to make mine first? That way you won't think I'm just waiting on you.
I don't care.
I'll make mine first.
Go ahead.
I ate crow last week. Harrisburg. I had one of their alum send us a message and said, hey, we love your show and love what you do. Keep doing what you're doing. But we overlooked Harrisburg, and you're right, sir. We did. We overlooked Harrisburg last week, and that was my mistake. So Bobby, with this pick this week, Hoxie goes to Harrisburg and whoops Harrisburg at home this week.
So you jump right off the
Powell brothers are not going to take no prisoners at Harrisburg this week. Coach Sears is going to have them coached up. Hoxie beats Harrisburg at home.
Hoxie beats Harrisburg at home.
At home, Hoxie beats Harrisburg.
After Harrisburg beat Walnut Ridge.
44-15. Homecoming.
At Walnut Ridge.
At Walnut Ridge, Bobby. I'm telling you.
Well, I got to make up some ground. So Ross Heed better bring it. Get out there and start running the football because I'm going to pick Harrisburg at home.
There it is. We're going to try to make up a game this week. Yep. Bobby's going to pick Harrisburg at home. I'm going with the Hawks and Mustang. Coach Sears, if you're watching, hey, don't let me down. Need them Powell brothers to come be ready to go this Friday night at Harrisburg. Good luck to both teams, though. Hey, guys, just understand, all we do here, this is for fun. We're not here to down anybody. We're all fans of every school in our conference, and I won't down one of them. So just remember that. At the end of the day, we're just doing this for fun. But we just try to pick the best way we feel may happen that week after week. So that is the pick'ems for this week. Coach, as we get ready to go to Corning this Friday night, folks, hey, let me just say one thing real quick before we get off the air. I'm so proud of the Seminole Nation. I looked up across the way over there. It's pouring down rain. It rained the whole game. The Seminole band's in the stands making noise. Man, I'm so proud of the Seminole band for showing up Friday night and doing what they did. The cheerleaders were out there in the rain suits and they cheered the whole game. But I want to talk about the Seminole Nation that showed up over there. We had a good crowd that traveled to Piggott last Friday night in your rain suits and your umbrellas and stuff, and you get out there and you cheered for the Seminoles. And folks, you never know, because that might have been the deciding factor in the second half to help the Seminoles get the victory last Friday night. So let me just say this. I know you can sit at home and watch us, and we bring this, we're very, very passionate about this, about doing this and bringing it to you. But if you can leave Friday and come to Corning and cheer these Seminoles on, it would mean the world to this football team. It would mean the world to this coach. It'd mean the world to everybody there. So hey, let's gear up. It ain't much farther than Piggott is. Let's gear up, rally the troops, and let's go over and let's cheer these Seminoles on the victory. Let's show Corning that Seminole fans travel, and we are for real. And we're going to be there until we win a state championship December 14th in Little Rock, Arkansas. So Bobby, we need to appeal to the Seminole Nation to come to Corning Friday night.
I mean, you showed up at Piggott at the worst weather we've seen all year, and we've seen the fans out there all year. They've been there all year. We've had good crowds at home. We've traveled well. Don't let up now. That crowd at Hoxie was there, and they were loud and they were rowdy. So don't stop now.
That's right.
We're in the home stretch, getting to the end of conference, and the kids need you to stand up and cheer loud for them. They need you to be there to do that.
That's right. Don't wait till week 10, folks. Week 10 is not even thought about. We're thinking about week 9. We don't care about week 10 yet. We're about week 10 about 10 o'clock on Friday night. That's when we go to the week 10 mode, and then we'll see what happens there. Coach, any final words before we get out of here?
Just thank you to the fans that showed up, and for all the support in the community. We thank you, the sponsors. We just appreciate it, and just ask that you'll continue to support us.
Folks, it's week 9. Week 9. One more week after this week, and it's playoff time, and then it's one game at a time. So, hey, we ask you, now's the time to get behind the Seminole Nation. Let's get in them stands. Let's pack them. Let's be loud. Let's be proud as we go to Corning this Friday night. Game time, 7 o'clock, Corning, Arkansas. Leave a little early. We had a little restaurant over there last year when we went to the junior high game. It was really nice. I can't remember the name of it, folks. I apologize, but I should have looked that up before we came in here. But it's a good little restaurant we ate at. So they got good places to eat. Let's go feed the economy, and let's get in the stands and cheer the Seminoles on the victory. So for Bobby Eflin, for Jay Gonzalez behind the scenes, for head football coach Robert Hooks, thank you so much for taking out your time, Coach, to be with us here for the Robert Hooks Show. Folks, you have been watching the Robert Hooks Show here on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. We will see you this Friday night in Corning, Arkansas.